So this is a 1v1 between me and asmthom. My India, his German. I open it because India is always interesting to watch in a 1v1. Their eco is not built for it. The natives are a big drain on food and wood. And food is already a problem resource for India. But they have some good cards for natives on the flip side. Like, this card gives natives 30% hit points and 20% speed. This makes them a lot tankier. And the speed helps Yumenkas a lot because it lets them get into melee faster. And they have a this card changes the cost for natives by 10%. And although it's not as much as cheaper nats, it also increases the build limit for natives. So you get like 32 tanky Humenkas, and because of this, India actually has a pretty decent, pretty fun military to work with in a 1v1, although of course this is weakened by the fact they can't make embassies and have to spam from their posts. So I have 3 Gens in the nats. I didn't do any sepoy rush or anything like that. It would feel like an unsatisfying win, and then if he reacts properly to it, then it simply doesn't work, and I can't get a push in the main fight. And that was my reasoning behind it. But the 3 Gens are there just to like mess with him. Like, I probably, like, if he had nothing here, I probably would have just sent them to his nats and forced him to deal with that. asmthom is 5 Ulans here. This is smart, so that if I send anything to the nats, the 5 Ulans can slow it down. And he is 7 Vils here. This is actually also smart, so he can wall here really fast, and so nothing can get into the nats. He probably thought I was gonna sepoy rush or something. So cold. I just ate ice cream, that's why I'm cold. Anyway, just looking at the scores, mine is alright, I guess. It's a bit on the low side because I had to trade early because, again, food is a problem resource. asmthom, I'm guessing me and asmthom don't have good latency, which makes 2700 German impossible, but I feel like his score, even considering that, should still at least be 2600. He has a TPU, which is a big advantage for German. He did not send an arsenal. He went all eco and got both training cards out, which is nice. So he must have noticed it late because he only has 1 extra card. TP should give 2 extra cards. Alright, yeah. So let's look at the start armies. Oh, wow. He started with 74 vills. That is so risky. I would start with like 64 against India. 4 corves. Making corves is also... I wouldn't make corves because, you know, India is not going to make artillery in their start army. Like, they're not going to make falcons or anything. Well, I guess they could, but they'd have to burn France early on the consulate, so... they lose out on a bit of FICO, because France gives a 5% boost to all vills. Because what France should do is, after they trade, they like queue their army, and then once they're 999 out of 200, they send the gendarme shipment from the France consulate, and then they burn France and ally with Brits. Okay. And so yeah, so basically the corves are not going to do much here. So basically the corves, I feel like that should be invested in skirms or some war wagons or something. The other thing I noticed is that asmthom is no anti-cav. This is a big mistake. You need a decent amount of war wagon, like something like 5 war wagon, 10 dop to like deal with the gendarmes, and you'll lose either way, but if you have decent anti-cav and your micro at well, you might not lose as hard. He should have 2 settler wagons by this post. You know that I have my explorer at this post and the other explorer here ready to queue tigers as soon as they die, and these vills should probably build the second nat post as soon as treaty ends. Alright, without further ado, let's get... Oh, I should talk about my army. So it's pretty standard. Few Gurkhas, some Sepoys, Genomes, a few Mahouts. Except I made 5 siege elephants, more than usual because his FB is so close up. Alright, so I should have some pop up here. Alright, this is the last thing I want to talk about before I start. I should have some pop up here because I need to take care of this FB. It's way too close for comfort, and if I get a push going up here, asmthom will be able to flank my FB from here and flank my army from here. He'll be able to use, abuse this position and use it to flank my army and flank my FB. So I should take care of it, like, I should use my start army advantage to take care of this, like, beat it down so that he can't flank me once if I try to push. Alright, now I'll start. And he's already using it, which is what he should be doing. And he has 7 towers, he pre-built them, which I guess is good. Gives him some anti-cav, but it's not enough. He should really have war wagons or something. This army is gonna get obliterated. He's murdering the Cold well, took down a siege elephant. Looks like he's gonna take down another. It's really good. It's gonna weaken my push. But again, look how destroyed this army is getting. This mortar was in a really good spot. It's pretty inconspicuous behind that stable. He took out one of my stables with it. And yeah, I have both nats ASAP. I used those wheels to build the nat, like I said, and asmthom does not have the second nat yet. He should be getting that right now. And he's already double walled this, so I won't be able to do anything here. Or I could try, but asmthom, if he's paying attention, would be able to react to it fairly easily, which is good. So the first thing I do is go for a Gurkha mass, which I think is what India should do with natives, because Gurkhas aren't as much of a drain on food as Sepoys are. And 26 Huminkas and a few Howdas with Tigers is more than enough anti-cav. And you see, asmthom is flanking my army with using his Ulans to flank my siege elephants using this position, and that's why I should have had Sepoys and siege elephants up here pre-40, so I could beat down this FB and fix that problem. And again, you see India's decent military at work. My Huminka is pushing his army back, just beating down his army. 442 HP compared to his, which have 382. Natives also get affected by this card, Team Shivaji's Tactics, which gives every single unit a 5% attack and an HP boost. It's interesting. Yeah. These siege elephants going way too far forward, obviously. I should pull them back. Deal with a wall up here to prevent further Ulan things, like up here. Wall up here as well. Since I'm going for a Gurkha mass, I want to be careful about Ulan things. Should be walling. And notice how I have my Mansabdar units in stand ground behind my army. That's what you want to do as India. asmthom should have some war wagons back here. All his war wagons are on the left and all his skirms are on the right. That's not ideal. I'm getting siege elephants from this from this castle. It should be used on this FB, but yeah. And again, asmthom's using that position to flank my siege elephants. And I think I walled too far forward. Like, I should have deleted this layer and used it to build an extra barracks and stable there. And score-wise, I'm not doing too bad. We're draining about evenly, and if both Civs are draining evenly, then India wins. Because India can go down to like 900 score before dying. It's one of the cool features of the Civ. Like, you'll be fighting someone and then they'll be like, oh, India's 1,000 score, he's dead. And then y'all keep making units and he'll be like, what the fuck? Okay, anyway. Sorry. I should be queuing more siege elephants here to take care of asmthom's horse stuff. I think asmthom could do with a few war wagons for the mahouts, but other than that, his composition looks really good. It's just basically a skirmass, but also with horse artillery behind it, which is pretty important because Gurkhas beat German skirms. 284 hit points, 37 attack versus 270 hit points, and I think it's 280 with all the codes, and 31 attack. I think it's 33 with the arsenal. Did asmthom get his? Oh, it's on. Okay, it's on the way. Yeah. And I should be focusing that tower because it's on the way to being built. And yes, I am. Because if a building is not built yet, and the foundation is being laid and it's being built, it only needs one shot to die. Like, even with siege elephants, it only needs one shot. So you should be abusing that and using it to not let your opponent build up. Yeah. And asmthom's, again, like I said he would, he's making my life miserable with these mortar flanks. Beating down my FB from here. And it's because I didn't really do anything to take position here in the start fight. asmthom already had position because of the way the FBs were set up. And this is why you don't really see many people playing 1v1 in treaty, because map screws are very prevalent in 1v1s. That said, it's also my fault because, like I said, I could have killed this with my start army or beaten it down at least. I could do some hits here. Or I don't know, oh, no, I can't because I have no wood. Right. Yeah, natives make wood and food a problem resource like I said. It's good that asmthom's continuing to use this flank. He has mortars up here. I walled there and asmthom killed it, which is good. I think I should be using consulate armies, like the Fouts and stuff. I think I should be queuing more siege elephants, although again, wood is a problem for me right now. I think you need more than just constant in 300 wood to be able to keep up wood. I think you need a few of those chopping as well, which is brutal on the food. Again, I think a few mahouts, because Huminkas take forever to kill mahouts. asmthom has no war wagons, and yeah, I think if I made a few mahouts, it would do a lot of damage to his army. I think the only, yeah, I guess if I have no wood again, but I think they would be really useful here. And I have wood now, so I should be making them. And I guess one mahout is only 250 wood, so I should like queue at least one. Maybe in favor of some natives or something. And I can't even ship 23 chakrams because I need the wood. This should be put on resources. I'll probably notice that later. But it's good that I took the TP after 40. I have a wall up here, like I said I should. And again, I'd like to see a wall up here. And there's the consulate army. I like to do the 8 Musk and 1 Falk one over the 6 Hussars and 3 Falk one. Because even though the latter is stronger, it ties you up with more pop. 3 Falcons are like 15 pop, and then the 6 Hussars are like an additional 12. So that's 27 pop. And it takes a while to train, so even if you queue it when you're at 199 out of 200, like there's a portion of time where you'll be fighting with 27 less pop. And it's pretty brutal. The 8 Musk 1 Falk thing is only 13 pop, which isn't nearly as bad. And it still gives you a Falk, which is pretty much the reason you make India consulate armies. Has something to do with some horse artillery here. I have a fuck ton of Gurkhas. He needs to either horse artillery or Ulans. He can't just spam scum into Gurkha and expect to win. Is German against India. That is. He can spam scum into Gurkha. What matchup can you do that in? I don't think there's a single matchup. Maybe Ports can. Or Brits with longbows, I don't know. And I actually did the Hussar army here. I guess because with my resources, 5k food, 500 wood, it's really hard to keep max pop anyway, so I figured may as well get the best free army possible. And again, abusing the fact that if a building is being built, it gets one-shotted. Although I lost the siege elephant for that, it's not really worth it. If your opponent has Corvs out, and you have siege elephants, or artillery out, I'd say artillery is the primary target and buildings are the secondary target. Although, another possible strat is hitting the buildings and then running back and then running forward to like hit Corvs or something. I guess it depends on where the buildings are positioned and where the artillery is positioned. Like maybe if his artillery is, for example, all on the left and he has buildings on the right, you can, and your siege elephants on the right, hit the buildings and run back. I'm doing a really good job. Oh wow, I was gonna say I was doing a really good job keeping my 3 Falcons alive, but they've been alive for quite a long time, hitting his Huminkas and stuff. Although I haven't been really microing them that much. I should be microing them to his scums. This should be pulled back right now. Fuck, I'm gonna lose it. And I noticed the TP and I put it on resources, and I should be maxed on vills. Like, I'm 101 vills, but India can be 103 vills. Asmthom's mortaring me from here with 1 mortar again. It's very smart that he's using this flank and using it to tear down my FB. I only have 4 axes right now, which isn't really enough for India to be able to keep decent unit production. And we get to see some Falk Maker here, which is nice. Yeah, these Falks have stayed alive for quite a long time. It's pretty impressive. And now that my wood is stabilized, I still have a decent number of crates there. I can finally send some 23 chakram. They're actually pretty decent with this card. It affects chakrams as well as natives. And it makes them a lot tankier and a lot more useful. because of the tankiness. And again, so asmthom's making heavy cannons. I'd like to see him be a bit more aggressive, but this is asmthom's playstyle. He keeps his rockets or heavy cannons way back, and he like masses them until he has a huge mass, and then he pushes with the massive artillery. Or or he uses the massive artillery to drain his opponent. But I don't think it's ideal because this artillery is staying way behind his army and it's not really doing much. Using consulate hussars to flank his artillery, it's smart. Because the hussars are free and they probably do better against artillery than... They're probably more cost effective. They're better against artillery than mahouts are, basically. Mahouts do 65 damage. They don't even have a bonus against artillery, what the fuck? They have a ×2 against infantry. I did not know that. I'm gonna pause once I make another mahout so I can confirm this. Yeah, wow, I did not know that. Damn. Alright, let's pause. Mahouts, 2 area, ×2 against infantry, 0.5 against villager, 0.5 against heavy infantry. Holy fuck, they do not have a bonus against artillery. I did not know that. No wonder mahouts always did such shitty damage to artillery. Holy fuck. I just learned something. And Howdahs actually do have a ranged bonus against artillery. Howdahs do decent damage, so if you're in a pinch, using them to snipe artillery can be alright, but they die really fast to skirms, so you have to be really careful. Only do it when your opponent is slacking on his skirm mass, and pull them back immediately afterward. If you do that, you can actually be cost effective using Howdahs to snipe artillery. And again, this mortar here, I don't think I noticed it. I only have 3 barracks now, that's not enough. I should be building more barracks right now. 1 stable actually is enough because mahouts and Howdahs train fast enough with the Andes training upgrade. That was a nice shot. asmthom playing extremely safe with his heavy cannons. Like, this one isn't even firing at anything really. It's just sitting there. And I wish I would notice this mortar. It's gonna kill yet another barracks. And then I'll be left with 2 barracks. And it's so low HP too. This is like killing me that I didn't see it. Okay, cool. I saw it. Nice. I did not lose the consulate to that mortar. Those hussars are in a very good position on his skirms. And now asmthom has 4 heavy cannons because he's been keeping them really far back and using them to mass. I think at this point he should start moving them more forward and trying to get really good shots on my Gurkha. Like I think you see him doing right now. I think this is what he's intending to do with these heavy cannon movements. Yeah, now he has 5 heavy cannons. He should definitely start being less careful with them and trying to hit my Gurkha. I think he should have been less careful with them from the get-go, because again, they're free. That said, a 5 heavy cannon mass can do brutal damage, and it's a lot easier if you keep to mass that much, if you keep them very far back like asmthom did. And yeah, especially now that my siege elephants are dead, I would really like to see asmthom pushing forward with his heavy cannon mass. He could also use some Ulans. I was snacking on the Howdas for a bit there. And I should run back after that? Yes, I think I came back too soon. I ran back in range too soon. Shot wasn't really loaded yet. It looks like I'm gonna win that engagement anyway. These chakrams are gonna get owned by the heavy cannons if I'm not careful. Whoa, this game was a lot closer than I thought, than I remember. We're less than 100 points apart. That's really good for India against German. I just remember me losing and me being sad because I lost. Oh, I just spoiled it. Well, it's pretty obvious because look at my food and wood count. Like, I can't sustain this army for long. And I only have 2 barracks. Who knows how long that's gonna last. Yeah. And I have to go back because of these heavy cannons. They're like unreachable. I guess I wanted to wait for another siege elephant batch before trying to go forward. asmthom is killing my TP here. This is really smart, and this is a good play from him. TPs really help India because they have food problems, especially with natives. They have food and wood problems, so TPs can really help India by providing a bit of extra food and wood. And they can actually be the difference between India being able to sustain an army and not being able to sustain an army. So asmthom sieging my TP there is a very good move from him. Like can't see even FB here from this because of this position asmthom has. And I like he's finally moving forward with his heavy cannons. He's forcing me back. Like I can't walk into 5 heavy cannons with Gurkha. I have to stay back. I'd like to see him. Yep, he's moving them forward again. I'm gonna have to move back again. Although now that I've regained control over the corpse of his corpse, I think I could. He's gonna hit my consulate at a pretty crucial moment. I'm just about to hit 1,600 export again, which is another 3 Falcons and 6 Hussars. And I'm also very low on wood and food, so I kind of need those free units to help me. My map control on this side of the route was very sloppy. This wall did not even go up until very late. Although that said, I have plenty of wood in my base to chop, so I guess there's no reason for me to wall there except to deny asmthom wood. What's his composition looking like? Resource distribution. And he's actually really low on wood, but he has his TP on wood, and he has 10 vills chopping, and he has more coin than food, but he has way more vills on food than on coin, so he is actually fine. His resources look fine. And you'll notice asmthom isn't really draining anymore. That's because I can't really engage with his army, because these heavy cannons keep forcing me back. And I have too many Howdas right now, although maybe it was because Howdas cost more coin than food. They're a good unit to make if you're like out of food and coin and can't really afford anything else. and you want to keep max pop. But if you're at that point, you've probably lost anyway, so yeah. And, yep, he's being aggressive with his heavy. He's being a bit more aggressive with his heavy cannons now that he's masked them. And bam. Yeah, I just lost like 12 Gurkhas to that shot. He lost 2 heavy cannons, but it was worth it to... That was actually a worthwhile trade. That he just... The 12 Gurkha dying alone made that trade worthwhile for asmthom. Which is, again, why I feel like he should have been aggressive with heavy cannons to begin with. They're just such an awesome unit. And siege elephants aren't that good. You'll notice they die really fast to asmthom's war wagons, his skirms, his kolbs. Like, keeping siege elephants alive is really difficult, even though they have a lot of HP, because they die to like nearly every unit. They die to goons, they die to skirms, they die to kolbs. It's really difficult. They die to hussars. It's like, holy shit. And yeah, and I'm getting pushed back. And again, it's because of asmthom's heavy cannon mass. I can't engage it. I have nowhere to go but back. asmthom pushes forward with heavy cannons, and he's doing this very well. Yeah. And again, I might... Although I have 8 Howdahs, so I guess Ulans wouldn't be wise at this point. And I'm frantically building a barracks in my base because I'm about to lose these barracks. I like sent the Howdahs forward for a desperate play on his heavy cannons because his Huminkas were preoccupied sieging my barracks. If I had hit this FB during the start on me, like I keep saying I should have, I might have been able to get a good push going on this FB before the heavy cannons came out, and that's really what you have to do against Germany. Get a good push going and be in a really, really good position before the heavy cannons come out, because heavy cannons rape. And in the treaty patch, we're actually nerfing heavy cannons. We're limiting them to 4, and we're making the shipment cost coin, and... Well, I'm a fan of making heavy cannons cost coin. I'm not sure how I feel about limiting them to 4, but... Yeah. I think we definitely needed to do something to heavy cannons, because they're too strong. They're too easy to mass, and it's nearly impossible to beat them once they're masked like this. Even though it's so much fun to be playing as Germany and mass heavy cannons and watch them destroy your opponent's army, your opponent's infantry. But yeah, it's just not balanced, I guess. And these siege elephants, you'll probably see them die very fast. Like this siege elephant was brought from full HP to like 59 HP in a matter of seconds because of the skirm mass alone. Like, it's really difficult to keep them alive. And even though I've lost my position and the game's pretty clearly over, I decided to continue playing. I was hanging on to this thin thread of hope that maybe I would be able to drain asmthom from my base by keeping a decent Gurkha mass and killing the Huminkas, but yeah, it didn't happen. was the ceasefire for? That's interesting. That would actually benefit asmthom because it allows him to run his Humikas around in my base. Although I have an eco wall, so he won't get in, but he can run them like maybe all the way to down here. And he would divert a lot of my troops that way. And because there's no chance of him getting in with Huminkas, he's sieging my FB instead, which is smart. That said, he probably should have just kept his Huminkas back at the original fight instead of sending them into my base like that in the first place, because now he's gonna lose half of his heavy cannons. Again, his distribution, his wood came back, his food came back. It's really good now. He could probably put some fills from food onto coin now. And yeah, this is like a nearly impossible position to win from is India. Even though I've taken care of his heavy cannon mass, he'll just ship them again, and I'll be in the same position all over. Yeah, I like how he's shelling my houses there, because houses are a priority target because they like create pop. Like you can't say, like, if he's mortaring your houses, you can like actually weaken your opponent's military by mortaring his houses, because then he can't make as much pop, and yeah, and then he has to rebuild them, of course. What the hell is that? John Robertshoe is out of range. I don't know. This is weird. And now he now that I have 4k food, I should be making tigers. Shouldn't just be spamming explorers forward to die. Spamming explorers forward and using them to tank as India is okay if you actually don't have enough food to make tigers. Then you should just use your explorers to tank in that situation. Guess asmthom sent Huminkas from here into here. It's good. Now I can't flank his army from here, and it's gonna let him build on the gnats here. And here, if he can kill this. He already has 2 heavy cannons, so yeah, you can see how dire the situation was for me. Although without any heavy cannons, I was actually draining asmthom with my Gurkha mass, like what I was trying to do. It's good that he built forward towers. Towers are good buildings against India, because again, siege elephants aren't the greatest unit, so you can abuse that with like towers. And also, so that heavy cannons arrive right at the fight, they don't have to walk anywhere. And I like have to kill this, because if I want to win, I have to keep my native. I can't let asmthom take natives, because German with 4 natives, that would be truly hopeless. Yeah, and he's murdering my eco wall now. Once that's down, he'll be able to send Huminkas in and mess with my eco. This is not a good position to be in. There's no way to win, especially since asmthom has walled the map so well that I literally have nowhere else to go. I played this one out to the bitter end, I think. I think I had 900 score when I quit. Although according to this thing, it's over in like a minute, 2 minutes tops. According to the bar thing. Oh, asmthom's making too many war wagons. He's been doing this for a few minutes, but I overlooked it because of his heavy cannon mass, but yeah, he shouldn't be making this many war wagons, especially against the Gurkha mass, like, because he needs to protect his heavy cannons. I could see 10 war wagons. I could see that warranting 10 war wagons, because war wagons are a good unit to cover heavy cannons against, like, hoots and, I don't know, howdahs. Although even though skirms would be better to cover heavy cannons against howdahs. But it shouldn't be more than 10. Should definitely not be 20, especially in natives. And this is draining him a lot. He's already at 1400, but I am also in a really shitty position. He just mortared my Chamino gate. He mortared my first. He has my first native down, and I think this is when I decide to call it. I'm gonna call it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. I know. I don't know. I was like 5 seconds off. It's not too bad. So yeah. That's wrong. I did not have 33k unspent. I had 20k. I had 20k unspent. India unspent is a little bugged in that sometimes it shows the India player having more unspent than he actually has, but yeah, I still had resources. I just lost ground. Because remember, his heavy cannon mass forcing me back. asmthom played this pretty well, although a bit sloppily at the end. It didn't really matter because I was in a bad enough position. And in the beginning, he could have used more horse artillery to beat down my Gurkha mass. But once he got heavy cannons out, he started doing really well. And my biggest mistake was not hitting this FB in the first few minutes while I had the chance. So yeah, well played by asmthom. Although Germany does beat India if it's a 1v1 with natives in because of the heavy cannons. And yeah, it's just a really difficult matchup against a good player, so I lost. Right, out.